Hello everyone. In this moment, I will talk about the topic unification of Germany and Italy. First, let's define the unification of Germany. Well, until the end of the 19th century, Germany was a conglomerate of different states that make up the German Confederation. It was no state. He was not a nation in himself. Within these 39 states, Prussia stood out. He was perhaps the most powerful and the one that had the most impact on German unification going into war, as we will see with Denmark, Austria, and French. Prussia had an autocratic and militaristic government that ultimately prevailed throughout Germany when it was unified. Other aspects are the causes and consequences of the unification of Germany, which were the Congress of the Vienna and the German Confederation. And the powerful Holy Roman Empire has it is full with the arrival of Napoleon, who was able to defeat one of the largest empires in the history of humanity. And second, Prussia and Austria at first, the two great states of the German Confederation were the Kingdom of Prussia and the Austrian Empire, generated two great powers that want to unify all the German states by leading them. And Otto von Bismarck. This man was responsible for carrying out a plan to unify all the German states. It is said that Bismarck was the cause of the great political and military plan, provoking wars to ultimately achieve unification and German nationalism. The idea of this nationalism was to create a king of modern that would make Germans see that they had culture similar to its others, being a kind of excuse to defend unification. And the last German custom union. In 1834, under the proposal of Prussia, the creation of the German Custom Union took place, the basis of which was a free trade zone for all the regions that make up the new Germany. The emergence of its own economy and commercial movement was the basis of German unification and the consequences of German unification. And the unification of the German state was the cause of the birth of one of the greatest power in the history of humanity, thereby causes a series of consequences that changed the European world forever, with Germany being a totally new world. In the first, South German state decided to join Prussia. Second, the birth of the German Empire is proclaimed on January 18, 1701, and Guillermo I, who until then had been King of Prussia. is named Kaiser of Germany on the same day that the German Empire is founded. Okay, and finally, phases of German unification. Um, German unification was a very long process as von Bismarck plan had many events that had to take place for unification to work. And therefore, when talking about German unification, we must comment on its different phases, each of them being a different word in which the new Germany faced its enemies. There are three phases of German unification are the first war of the Duchies or Horting War, and it was a conflict that took place in 1864 and period of alliance of Prussian and Austrian against Denmark, and second Austro-Prussia War, and a military conflict that took place in the summer of 1866, which Peter Prussia against Austria. Prussia and Austria were the two great powers of the German Confederation. So the Prussians considered that for Guillermo first to come to power, they had to eliminate the Austria from the Confederation. And third, Franco-Prussia's war, and it was a conflict that took place between 18 um, 7 and 1871, pitting Prussia against French Bismarck idea in the German needing a common enemy in order to generate unity and finally achieve unification. This enemy being the French General Napoleon. Okay, my partner continue with the topic of the unification of Italy.
The unification of Italy was a 19th century political and social movement that resulted in the unification of the different states of the Italian peninsula into a single state by the Kingdom of Italy. Beginning in the 1840, the unification was completed in 1871, the same year as the unification of Germany. In the unification of Italy, there were three men that played a role very important. The first one was Giuseppe Mazzini. He was an Italian politician and activist who played a significant role in the movement for Italian unification (Risorgimento). Mazzini was a fervent advocate for Italian nationalism and republicanism. He believed in the creation of a united Italian state, free from foreign rule and based on democratic principles. Mazzini founded the secret society Giunta Italy, with the aim of mobilizing young Italians for the cause of national liberation and unification. He was known as the Soul. The second man was Camilo Cabers, as known the Brain. He was a leading figure in the movement for Italian unification. He was a key figure in the Risorgimento, the movement to unify Italy. He played a central role in the unity the various states of Italian peninsula into a single nation state under the leadership of the Kingdom of Piedmont Sardinia. And the third one was Giuseppe Garibaldi, as known as the Swords. As said before, he was an Italian nationalist, were led by Giuseppe Garibaldi. He led the Rangers, which was an army that would break treasures into barrels. They captured the island of Sicily and then crossed into the Italian mainland. They conquered southern areas and agreed to unite with the Piedmont Sardinia into the north. Italy under Napoleon. Towards the end of the French Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte would begin a series of wars that would change the political landscape of Europe for years to come. Napoleon conquered the Italian city-state and turned into a single administrative unit. As part of the French Empire, the Italian people would imbue many ideas of the revolution, such as liberty, equality, and fraternity. Above all, active participation by the people in governance was encouraged, something unheard of the Italian state for centuries. The empire established by Napoleon has served as fuel for revolutionary ideas, as he even encouraged nationalism. But this time, the Italian people had enough of foreign involvement in their land and would begin a series of insurrections to drive the foreigners out and unite their country. Italian unification was caused by the spread of ideas such as nationalism, liberalism, and democracy that inspired the Italian people to fight for their own unified country rather than being ruled by foreign monarchs. The unification process was started by Italian nationalists. Most of people was unified in 1861 when the Kingdom of Italy was formed. The unification process was completed in 1871 when the Papal State and Venice were added. This expedition was successful in capturing Sicily and Naples from the Austrian Empire.